Hello, and you are very welcome to Killer Queen Conversations, the Queen fan podcast from Shane's Queen site. On this podcast, we will be interviewing Queen fans, asking them about their favourite songs, favourite albums, how Queen became part of their life, and indeed how the music of Queen has formed the soundtrack to their lives. So, without further ado, let's see who we have today.
Killer Queen Conversation.
So now we're going to Madrid, Spain, and we have Jesus on the line. Jesus Bengoechea. Am I correct in saying that?
That's perfect pronunciation. I'm really impressed with your pronunciation.
Bueno.
In Spanish and Basque as well, because my surname is from the Basque country.
Oh, wow!
So it's a different language. It's a different language they speak there.
Yeah.
I don't speak the Basque language, but Bengoechea means the house downstairs in Basque. Believe it or not, very glamorous.
Very glamorous, yes. So thank you very much for coming on this morning. As you know, this is a brand new Queen podcast that myself I've started on my site, Shane's Queen site, and basically. Just introduce yourself. Let us know who you are and how exactly you got into Queen.
Yeah, well, I am a Spanish journalist and writer. I write mainly about sports or football, to be more precise. And although I also write different stuff. I have published a novel as well, and I'm working on a new novel. And but anyway. Talking about Queen, my love for Queen started when I was around 15, 16.
Yeah.
That's 1985, 1986. So my own little tragedy about that is that I started to like Queen but a little bit by the time they were touring.
Yeah.
Of course, the last tour, 1986. So they came to Spain in 1996. They played both in Madrid and Barcelona. And I was starting to like them, but not as much as to as to go to the concert.
Yeah.
So I missed that concert in
1986
in Madrid, and I, as you can imagine, later on in time, I have been keeping blaming myself for that, and I can't forgive myself for that.
Your story.
But I have I live with that.
It's very similar to my own in that, 86, I was 12 years old. I could not have gone to Slane. They played in a place called Slane Castle in north of Dublin in 86. Freddie actually broke up a fight during that. There was a bit of trouble in the audience, and he stopped the music.
I know someone died. No, I think
you could be right there. Yeah, there was definitely some kind of more serious things going on there. So for myself, like yourself, I only really got into Queen after Freddie's death. It was building over time, but really not to the level of fandom until then. So I did see Queen eventually with Paul Rodgers in Paris in 2005.
Me too. I saw Queen with Paul Rodgers twice in Madrid. Nice. 2005 and 2008.
Yeah. What did you think of Paul Rodgers as taking over the front man role?
I think he did a good job, but obviously there's a certain bunch of songs in the Queen catalog that he can't really do.
Yeah.
I mean, he can do the hard rock stuff. He can nail Fat Bottomed Girls, for example.
Yeah.
But I mean, he could never do Killer Queen. He could never do Killer Queen or Slightly Mad or anything like that. Whereas I think Adam Lambert does a great job in that kind of songs. Yeah. I saw Queen with Adam Lambert recently.
Wow.
Or 3 years ago, I think, in Madrid. And I really like that. Better than Paul Rodgers, I have to say.
I think Paul is more bluesy and Adams is more, he grew up on Queen, so he gets it.
Yes.
And I know people will say Adam is not Queen, and he's not Queen. But what I do like about Adam is he's bringing Queen's music to a new generation.
Yes,
I recently saw a We Will Rock You show here in Waterford, a local school called Newtown School, produced it. They only had 6 weeks to do it, but it was fantastic to see kids aged 13 to 18 playing and singing Queen's music, and they didn't grow up on it. Like Freddie is well gone. And now a new generation, and I do think Adam and the show and all those things is keeping Queen's music alive. And that's where I think I like Adam from that perspective. And he's a good singer. He's a very good singer, you know.
I think he's a fantastic singer.
Yeah.
He's brilliant. Absolutely, yes, fantastic.
So when you were growing up at home, what music was playing?
What music did you like?
In the house, or like your parents, or what influenced you at that time?
I was by the time it was basically the big bands, from the 80s. Really,
okay, yeah.
It was U2,
yeah,
Bruce Springsteen. Born in the USA was huge by then, of course, particularly in Spain.
Wow.
I remember liking Dire Straits a lot as well, Mark Knopfler, and then of course Queen, but they came a little bit later in my liking, you know, and then of course I started liking Queen a lot before Freddie died, but not in time to see Queen live, obviously, because he was already sick by then, and they weren't touring. So I remember regretting that very much, particularly when Freddie passed away, and that was. I remember also enjoying the Barcelona album with Montserrat Caballé.
Yes, of course,
the duet album with Freddie.
Yeah.
I remember thinking that was a masterpiece, and
it was.
I still think it is. It is absolutely great, that album. And then of course the Miracle came. And I remember thinking, well, maybe they will tour with the Miracle, which I would have enjoyed a lot, because I think it's a marvelous album. I think it's great. I still think it's among their best. Yeah. And but of course they couldn't tour for the reasons that we all know. And it was very sad for me when Freddie passed away. And but then it was good to see, as you pointed out, that a whole new generation of people got more and more interested in Queen, and because for a long time I didn't find myself being recognized as a proper guy in terms of my taste in music and the like of Queen. I mean, my friends didn't particularly enjoy Queen, and when Freddie passed away, there was a wave of recognition about him. And all of a sudden, everybody seemed to like Queen. Everybody seemed to enjoy Queen. So I felt like I don't know, like rewarded in a way. Like I was
vindicated. Right. Yes,
I was vindicated. That's the word. Yes, I always said that they were absolutely amazing. That they were the best band on the face of the earth. With the Beatles, I would say they're also my favorites. And so I feel a little bit vindicated. But when there was this wave of recognition, and everybody buying their records and the whole thing, you know, I think as you said, I think their legacy goes on and on and on, you know, and young people seem to enjoy their songs a lot. I mean, I have 4 kids. They are 17, 15, 13, and 11. Wow. And they are all huge Queen fans. Yeah. They all love Queen. Yeah. And it's a music that really speaks to their hearts. And that you know, they have their Spotify playlists with a lot of Queen songs and all that, and I'm proud to see that. You know,
that's great. It's you're passing something on in that respect. You're passing on your music to
say it again.
You're passing it on. In like for myself, my father, he had Moody Blues, and he had Jeff Wayne's War of the Worlds, and all that, and that has. You know, that was my first kind of taste of music, that style. But for you, can you remember your first Queen song that you remember hearing?
It's difficult to say because there were so many, and they were they were around, but I couldn't. In fact, I didn't know that those songs that I knew were from the same band. You know, were by the same band. And that makes sense. I mean, who would have thought that Another One Bites the Dust and Bohemian Rhapsody were made by the same band? I mean, it was very, very. So I think that was what really caught my attention. I remember listening to Bohemian Rhapsody for the first time on a school trip on the bus, and thinking, "What is this?" And then I realized that they were also the guys who had made "We Will Rock You" and Another One Bites the Dust, and it was like, okay, so they're a very eclectic band. They can do different styles of music, you know.
But there are artists in I can't remember who
And
said
I
it.
really like that. I really like that. I mean, the fact that, yeah,
Yeah, I was just going to say there that there are artists in the USA who I've seen on interview, and they said that when they heard Another One Bites the Dust, that they actually thought that the band was a black artist.
yes, yes,
And actually, Queen were ranking. I think actually they did get to #1 spot in the funk charts in the USA. Not only in the rock charts, but also the funk charts. And it's
yes.
rare for a band like Queen to be topping those charts.
Absolutely. And I think I remember reading somewhere, I think it was an interview with Roger, saying that at first they didn't want to release the song as a single because they weren't so sure as for whether or not it would work.
Yeah.
And then apparently it was Michael Jackson who
Yes.
convinced them to release it as a single because
Yeah.
he loved it so much.
Yeah.
And I think that's absolutely incredible. I
Yeah.
mean, if it wasn't for Michael Jackson, maybe the song would have been there in the album, but nobody would have paid a lot of attention to
Yeah,
it.
there's a lot around that song. I even heard that Another One Bites the Dust was going to be in Rocky at one point, but they couldn't get the rights in time. And then obviously the other song had to be put in there. I was the Tiger or whatever it was, had to be put in for that. But imagine Rocky with Another One Bites the Dust instead of what was there, you know. So I mean, the song itself has huge impact.
Yeah, absolutely. I think. I mean, I love it. I still love it. But when you grow into Queen, you tend to get a little bit snobbish, I guess. So I prefer other songs that are not as popular as Another One Bites the Dust.
I would agree. There's a lot of Queen songs that are slightly overplayed.
Exactly.
And a lot of songs that deserve a lot more love.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when you introduce Queen, you kind of go, but wait until you hear this one. Wait until you hear this one. You play Millionaire's Waltz or you play something else, and you kind of go, that's the same band as this. And it's amazing how varied they are.
Yes, exactly. It is quite amazing. I mean, it's like in the complete extremes of music. You know, it's like I mean, a song like basically all tracks from Queen 2, for example.
Yeah.
I mean, that is so inventive, so incredible.
Yes.
A song like the March of the Black Queen.
Yes.
Or the Fairy Feller's Master Stroke. I was recently in London and I went to the Tate Gallery to see the actual painting, the Fairy Feller's Master Stroke by Richard Gadd.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you should see it. It's an amazing painting. No wonder Freddie was so interested in it. And of course you can, if you look at the lyrics, you can see the things, the strange lyrics that he's got. It's all referring to little details in the painting, you know.
And what's interesting is, like, you hear the words, and I remember getting a dictionary, looking up what a pedagogue was and what an ostler was, and trying to figure out what all these words were, because they're not. It's the olden English.
Yes,
the old words, and it was great to actually get.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I was even
No, go ahead.
Yeah. I was going to say that if for you they were strange words, imagine for me.
Oh, yeah.
Like what the hell is this, you know?
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, I mean, this is crazy. And but I think the first album that I bought was A Kind of Magic, because it was the one that was out around the time. I think it's got very, very strong songs, but some other songs are a little bit, you know, feeling material. I don't like them so much. Songs like Give Me the Prize and Don't Lose Your Head. They're not. I don't think they're great. Although
there's elements of the songs
they're
that are
not great songs.
Yeah, there's
exactly.
For example, like, Give Me the Prize and all those. There are sections of the songs that I think are really good.
Yeah,
and then it kind of goes up and down as regards quality within the song.
I see what you mean.
Yeah,
I mean the guitar solo in "Give Me the Prize,"
that's exactly it. Yeah,
which sounds like pipes, really.
Bagpipes,
like pipers and all that.
Yeah,
that is absolutely amazing. And even though the song is not great, I think I read somewhere that it's John Deacon's Queen least favorite song.
Okay,
I think I read somewhere that he really hates it, but I mean, the singer Freddie is just incredible. It's just so powerful, and so it's got there's an evil touch to it. I mean, it really fits the movie, of course, Highlander, and the character that is supposed to be depicting, no, which is of course what was the name of the villain in Highlander?
I can't off the top of my head. I know you're asking the wrong person. I don't even know people I used to work with because I'm so bad with names. When it comes to names, I just go, "Hello, you," because I'm so bad with names. And I actually remember one time
the Kurgan. The Kurgan. That was the name
yeah,
of the
Kurgan. Yeah, that's well done. You well done. Your memory with names is better than mine. But yes,
Yeah.
I actually said hello to an Irish celebrity one time, thinking that he was somebody I worked with. And I just recognized the face and went, "Oh, I think I know who you are." I went, "Hello, how are you?" Turned out it was a guy called Dara O'Brien, who's a comedian here in Ireland. And the only reason why I thought he was the same guy I worked with was there was a guy in the office who looked the exact same as him. He was very, he had no hair and he was larger and that sort of thing. I was kind of going, purely because I didn't recognize, so that's how bad I am with names. So sorry I didn't recognize that. But it's interesting that you say Queen 2 was your first. You're mentioning Queen 2 as being one of the seminal albums for yourself. That was my one because my cousin gave it to me and he said, "I think you're going to really like this." I put it on. I had headphones. It was 1992. I was driving as a passenger. I was actually a passenger in a car. And I think within 20, 25 minutes, I was absolutely hooked. I couldn't understand how songs were merging from one song to another song without any split. It just been merging slightly, and procession was moving into something, and you kept going and going and going. And I never heard that before. And then the quality of the songs, and then the intricacy of the songs, and the multi-layered harmonies. It blew me away. And to start off with that album was wow. Like, I mean, you're going right in on the deep level of Queen.
Absolutely. I think for hardcore fans, Queen 2 is a favorite.
There's rumors that Brian is in the process of actually remastering it and releasing it, like Queen 1 was released last October.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
That's great news. And maybe there's some unreleased material as well.
That's true.
From that time,
Yeah.
That'd be amazing. I always like it when they release new stuff that hasn't been. Although I mean, to be honest, for example, like the song that they released recently that hadn't been released.
Face It Alone.
Yes, Face It Alone. We already had heard it. On the internet. I mean, like a sort of
the unpolished version.
Exactly, but I thought it was great that they got into that song. And
they did, and I remember hearing it on the first day. I actually did my very first YouTube live stream that morning when it was actually being played, and because I was expecting a Queen epic with guitars and with huge drums, and it wasn't. It was more of a ballad. I didn't like it, and it took me about a month. And after the month, I went, "Oh, this is actually really nice. This is a beautiful piece. It's it's a really nice piece of Queen material that we haven't heard properly polished. So it took me a kind of while to get into it, almost like Hot Space. I remember hearing somebody quoted on I think Music Maker or Melody Maker, and they said, "Hot Space. Eventually, you will love it." Because there are some good songs on that
yes,
that you will.
I remember reading that as well. And I think the thing about Hot Space is that it would have been a braver album if they had gone black, to the full, as opposed to having a few songs in the old catalog, in the old style as well. I think there was a point of compromise that I didn't quite like, and I still think it's a relatively weak album. Relatively weak. It still got great songs.
Exactly. Yeah.
I love Dancer, for example. I think that's an underrated song. Dancer and the guitar solo also in the middle by Brian. But I mean, that time, like 1982, I think creatively they were going through a lot of tensions within the group, and that reflects in the music. But I think live, by that time they played live. That is the best time in terms of the concert. I mean, if you listen to the I think it's 1982 Milton Keynes. No? Milton Keynes. I think that's 1982.
Great show, yeah.
I think that's my favorite Queen show from all that I have seen. I mean, Freddie was really at the top of his game. It's incredible the way he sings.
Yeah,
the way he sings songs like "Somebody to Love" or "Play the Game."
It's one of my favorite songs. Yeah.
I mean, shivers down my spine every time I listen to to the intro for Somebody to Love.
And it's a very tricky one because
it's so moving. It's so incredible.
He takes a diversion from the album. So he plays the A flat minor, sorry, the A flat, and then he goes to B flat, and then he plays like a weird G minor 70 type thing going on there, which is not actually on the album, but he makes it kind of dark for a moment and then comes back out into the intro. But he totally could change his playing style to whatever he wanted to do on stage, and he was just totally. I don't know how the guys kind of went, oh yeah, he's doing that now. Yeah, let's just do that. Freddie just at that show, he was at the top of his game.
And I think it was basically. Yeah, I think it was basically improvised. That intro, no, to Somebody to Love, because I've heard other versions of the song live, and it's always different. It's incredible. I mean that intro is always different, and I mean the guy was such a great musician. I remember. I mean, you know better than me because you are a musician yourself, Shane, and I'm not a musician. But I mean, I remember reading an interview with Roger saying something like. I think a lot of emphasis is put on how amazing a showman he was.
Yeah,
and not enough emphasis is put on how much of a great musician he was.
Yeah,
he was an incredible musician, incredible composer.
Yeah, if anybody wants to challenge themselves and kind of go, oh yeah, Freddie was okay. Well, try and play March of the Black Queen. Try and play Millionaire's Waltz on piano. Try and play Death on Two Legs while maintaining the tempo of the two different hands going at different tempos. It's like he was incredible. He was a metronome when he's playing piano. Yeah. He had power, which is normally trying to keep power and metronomic stability and tempo and all that is very, very tricky. But apparently he had such great staccato power, and all the way his dynamics on the piano were amazing. He is. And the way he wrote songs, like what's the one I love? It's just bear with me. It's
problem.
My Melancholy Blues. I know I mentioned Millionaire's Waltz. In that song, it's in E flat, and then he throws in a G major chord, which shouldn't fit. But Freddie just kind of goes, "Oh yeah, there's a G major, shove that in there," and then he comes back into the key. So. Yeah, it's amazing how someone could actually think, because normally musicians will think, oh, I'm in the key of E flat, I have all these chords I'm allowed to use. And Freddie went, no, I'm going to throw this in here and see what happens. You know? Yeah. So that's the type of guy he was, and he was a great writer.
Yeah, that's fantastic to hear, Shane. That's really interesting. And I'm not a musician myself, so I couldn't describe it as well as you do it.
You hear it. That's the nice
but I exactly, yes, and I enjoy it.
Yeah,
and I think particularly my Melancholy Blues is one of my favorites as well, because I mean, where did that come from? I mean, that's pure jazz. That's pure. I mean, that is a song that you can imagine Ella Fitzgerald singing that, or someone like that.
Yeah, I remember we did that live. We did a show in Utah one time, and we played that song, and it was just for a private gig, and we did My Melancholy Blues, and people were getting up and dancing.
Really?
And the lead singer came over to me and goes, keep going. And he did another, there's only 2 verses in the song or something like that. So he did another verse, he did the same one over and over again. And we had done it 3 times. He says, keep going, they're dancing. So we did the 5 verses of this just to keep them dancing. And they loved it, and they really enjoyed it. And people afterwards were saying, I didn't know that was Queen. And I think that's the joy of what we know as Queen fans. We can kind of go, yeah, you know Bohemian Rhapsody, and you know We Are the Champions, but did you know this one?
Exactly.
And you can give somebody a gift and say, enjoy.
Exactly. I think that's great. I think that's one of the pleasures, about being relatively knowledgeable about Queen, that you can act like a Queen apostle almost. You can go around with the gospel, and enlightening people, saying, listen to this. I mean, because I know you know the classic Queen stuff and the classic songs, but why don't you listen to this? Why don't you listen to The Night Comes Down from the first album, for example, which is a terrific song, amazing song. I think they released it when they remastered the album. I think they kind of released it.
That's right. That was the very first one they released last October. Yeah. or September,
exactly.
I think it was. Yeah.
And I mean, what a song! It's so incredible. Freddie's voice, which sounds like a choir voice, or something like that.
Yeah.
Where did that come from? It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you can go to people.
exquisite.
Have you heard the word of our Lord Freddie Mercury? And the good news. As you said, a Bible of Freddie. Yeah. So like, if you could go back in time to see one concert of Queen's, what would you like to go back into, if you had a time machine? If you could go back.
Well, the one that I mentioned earlier, I think Milton Keynes in 1982.
That's a very good one.
I would give, I don't know, a finger or something like that. In return for being there, for being in that concert.
Exactly. And then 2 years later, we had Live Aid. 3 years later, actually.
Yeah, 3 years later, Live Aid. I mean, Live Aid, it's incredible. I think it was very lucky for the guys who made the film Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah.
It was lucky for them that Live Aid existed, because they can. I mean, the end of the film is so incredible. There's not a lot of music during the film. It's like everything is crammed at the end. With the Live Aid performance, which I thought it was done very well. I don't know. Do you like the film?
I do and I don't. There's elements of the film that I sometimes fast forward, because I find them a hard watch, because I think that they might have, obviously they did change the story.
Yes.
Very much. But it makes certain characters, I think, in my own personal opinion, obviously people will have a different opinion. I think in the film they kind of make a joke out of John, a small bit. There's a few digs at John, a few little things they say to John, whereby they dismiss him slightly in the film.
Yeah.
Also, there's elements of the Freddie character that I don't think were Freddie, but they had to make them more amazing and more scandalous for the film.
Yeah.
So I watched it recently, and I did find myself kind of going advance, 15 seconds, and moving it on, because I just felt I wanted to get to the music sections. So I'm delighted the film was made. I hope they don't make a second one, because that would be an extremely hard watch.
Yeah, that'd be a very hard watch. I keep thinking that. Yeah.
But I do agree with you. The Live Aid sequence at the end, where they're coming down over the stadium and they're coming down over the fans, I get goosebumps when I'm watching that bit.
Yeah. That's incredible. Of course, that's
Apparently, Rami Malek did learn piano. He did learn some piano to try and be able to play the right things. And when you look at his hands, he's kind of doing the right thing, but he's not really playing the right notes. I had a look, and he's not exact. He's close. He's close enough, but he's
and I think the guy. Yeah, I think the guy who plays Brian also learned some tricks by Brian himself.
He did. No? He was very good, and even his accent was amazing.
No, I mean, his voice is incredible. And I remember reading an interview with Brian, in which he said that he's even his I think his daughter believed at first. She believed that it was Brian himself dubbing the actor.
Wow.
Because the voice sounds exactly the same. It sounds exactly the same. It's incredible the job they
really did. Yeah, I didn't. I mean, I do remember watching Live Aid.
I think the film is okay.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. You got.
You watched it live on TV.
I did, yeah. I mean,
wow.
I think you mentioned as well in our pre-interview that you had watched it as well yourself.
Yeah, but I didn't watch it live on TV. Is that what you're saying?
I watched it live on the day. Yeah.
On the day. Wow, that I feel jealous as well about that.
I didn't know who they were. My cousin, as I said, the guy who gave me Queen 2, he was the Queen fan, and I just happened to be in his house on the day, and at 6:30 or thereabouts, everybody had to be quiet. Everyone had to be quiet, and they watched the thing, and that was it. Nothing moved, and he watched it, and I watched it, and I remember being blown away, obviously, but not knowing who they were until later on,
Yeah, it's funny how things work, and how things get into your mind, and then it takes a while. It also took a while for me to become a proper fan, I guess, and now I mean it's one of the things that people people who know me relate me to immediately. You know, and people keep telling me things like, I thought of you because I saw this video. I thought of you because I heard this song or whatever.
That's nice.
So it's, I guess people take Queen as I guess people take Queen as one of my I don't know one of the things that define me in a way. And that's cool.
It's cool. Yeah, I mean, it's nice to have something that you are good at, which is Queen knowledge and the knowledge of the back catalogue. And you can enjoy something in the same way people will enjoy art or they'll enjoy sport. Yeah. But you obviously have the luxury of both, you know, with your sports journalism and so on. So
yeah, that's right. But I envy you because you can also play their songs. I think that's
but it wasn't always that way. I mean, I remember I remember back in 1988, I could barely play chords. I could barely play the piano chords. I knew what they were, but I couldn't put it together, you know. I think it's one of those things I just worked on, and over all the years, I started transcribing Queen songs because I was a student. I had no money, so I had to press play on the recorder, listen to a chord, and press stop, and think that's a B flat. And I worked out all these chords. And then eventually I had all these notes of the chords for Queen on paper. And when the internet came around 1999, I think I got my first broadband, I started putting these online. And I noticed that people were coming to my website from Florida and all that. One of the first visits I ever had on set was from the JPL labs in NASA in Florida. I was kind of going, why is somebody accessing my content from Florida? And then I realized that people around the world want to see, and I built and built and built. Yeah. And it's now in its third iteration. I had it on one domain, then I moved it to another domain, and now it's on my final domain, which is now shanesqueenside.com. Eventually, it got its own domain name after all these years, 20 odd years since I started it. You know, so yeah, I mean, it's not an overnight success. I had to work at it, and I think if you are a musician and you're trying to play Queen songs, you could very easily get frustrated because it's not easy. It's not like 3 chords where you just can't play a C, an F, and a G. So if you are a musician out there, I would recommend that you try and take your time to learn your craft, learn your chords, learn what it is about tempo, understand timings, understand the keys that you're in. It's not difficult. You just have to put some time into learning those. When you have those, then you can learn any song because of your knowledge. In the same way, like yourself, if you're trying to be a journalist, you got to learn, you know, paragraphs and your grammar and how you lay things out and how you discuss things, and trying to be neutral at the same time, trying to get a point across. All those things you can't know by default, you know. Yeah. So yeah, it's an interesting area, and I'm just privileged that I have Queen as my thing because they are so interesting as a band.
Absolutely. And what do you think? Can I ask you something as well? What do you think of? Because there's a lot of people, like I would call it them the purists. Like they keep saying that Queen shouldn't be touring anymore because you know Freddie is not there, and you know, and some people say that John is the only one who's got you know, decency because he's not touring with them because Freddie is not with us anymore and all that. What do you think of that?
Well, I mean, John and Roger and Brian were all part of the band. John has decided to step away, which is his prerogative. He took Freddie's death very hard. He's a family man. He has a big family. At the same time, then Brian and Roger are musicians. They have written quite a substantial amount of Queen songs. Okay. Brian and Roger form half the band. Freddie and John being the other half. Freddie, unfortunately, no longer with us. But as a result, I think Brian and Roger have every right to use the music for good. Think of all the good that Brian did during lockdown. Okay, he had his micro concerts. I actually played along with a few of them myself to keep my mental health going during a worldwide thing that has never happened before in our lifetime anyway. But think of the goodness that has happened. I mean, I'm in the tribute band in America, and
recently, a girl came up to me at a show in Utah, and she was only about 16, 17, and she was with her mum. And she told me how much she loves the music of Queen. And I got very emotional because I was kind of going, wow, like, why are you thanking me? I just play the music. It's not my music, it's Queen's music. And you're like, I had never had that before, but where someone was ushering me down to talk to me after a show. And to answer your question, I think that the good thing about John, sorry, I keep saying John, it's in my head for some reason. The real good thing about Brian and Roger continuing the music of Queen is it means that the music is not dead. Okay, so I think if you look at Queen, they're actually in existence longer now without Freddie than they were with Freddie. If you look at the timings, they were in existence since 1991 to now, longer than they were from the early 1970s to 1991.
Yes.
And I think that they are actually part and parcel of world psyche in some respects, because they're on adverts. We've got a product here called Flash, which is a cleaning product. I'm not sure if you have it over there in Spain, but the product uses the Flash theme for the advert. I was in America recently and I saw an advert and they were using "You're My Best Friend" as an advert jingle.
Yes.
At the end of matches, for example, you'll hear "We Are the Champions."
Yes.
There's a TV show in the UK and they use "Another One Bites the Dust" and "We Will Rock You," and that's the program called Gladiators.
Yes.
So Queen's music is embedded in day-to-day.
Absolutely.
You know,
don't Stop Me Now as well. I mean, Don't Stop Me Now is also everywhere.
Yeah,
in every in every party, in every celebration, in every sort of thing. It's another one of the very popular ones. And You're My Best Friend that you mentioned apparently has always been huge in the US. I mean,
and you're very true. And I don't know how or why, but we put our lyrics on a QR code before our shows, and "You're My Best Friend" is always by far the most downloaded, so people can sing along in the audience by a factor of about 4. On our last show, it was downloaded 160 times during the show for people to look at it on the phone and sing along, whereas the next best song was 40 or 50. So it's hugely, so
that is only fair because it's such an amazing song. I think it's also among
if you're a bassist, that's a tricky song to play because it's going up and down and all these little slides and these little riffs and so on. It's a really, really excellent bass line. Yeah.
No, I think it's incredible because and I think it's a little bit. I mean, it's interesting because people tend to think that it's a song about friendship, but really it's a love song because it's a guy telling his wife or girlfriend or whatever that she's his best friend. So
for his wife, Veronica,
about Veronica, So in fact, it's a love song rather than a friendship song,
Yeah.
But it's so beautiful, so incredible.
Queen have some great songs from point of view of how you describe it. They're being beautiful songs. One of my favorites is "A Winter's Tale." That is phenomenal. What's your view on that one?
"A Winter's Tale," yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think I was when I first heard it, I remember thinking that I couldn't believe that it wasn't the first single from Made in Heaven. Because, I mean, it's the most significant song in the album to me. It's the most beautiful, it's the most haunting, the most moving.
Yeah.
The way Freddie sings is absolutely incredible, and it's like time stops when music stops and you can hear his voice saying it's so beautiful. I mean that's heavenly. That really is heavenly. And I remember also reading an interview. I can't remember if it was Brian or Roger saying that by the time he was really, really sick and really, really close to death, that they were all very sad and thinking about, facing the fact that he was leaving them, whereas Freddie was like somewhere else. And the song is really just a description of what he can see from his window in his house in Switzerland, isn't it? In Montreux. So it's just that, but at the same time, you know what's behind, and what's behind is a guy who's living, who's about to die.
Yeah,
and it's I think that's incredible, and I think that's a unique case in the world of rock and roll, because of course a lot of rock gods have gone.
Yeah.
They have they're dead, and they're dead in different ways. Some of them really young, sadly, regarding or having something to do with drugs,
Yeah.
or just being killed, like John Lennon or whatever.
Yes.
I mean, the case of a group that are making music until the very last, when one of the band members is really sick, and they keep going and going. I find that's amazing, and in fact, their latest albums are among their best they ever made. I mean, Innuendo and those songs from Made in Heaven are absolutely incredible, incredible. And I think Winter's Tale is my favorite Queen track, because everything that it involves, it's so beautiful musically.
Yeah, that's true. Yes. Yeah.
And the lyrics apparently are so simple, but there's something behind that is really touching. When it goes with things like a line like it goes like and the dream of the child is the hope of the man. It's that always gets me. That is so beautiful. And I know Freddie didn't particularly like writing lyrics. He said that many times, that he'd rather write the music, and because I'm not a poet, he would say. But I think these are his lyrics in A Winter's Tale, and this is incredible. It works as a poem by itself. And
I think the urgency. I think there's a lot of urgency in the way he's writing. I think he wants to get everything out because he knows maybe his time is limited. And as you said, it's purely haunting. It is haunting. And the first time I heard it was on a DVD, or it was actually a documentary called The Queen Phenomenon. And they played that as they showed clips of Montreux. And it was amazing just to see what as you said, what he saw out of his window.
Yeah, I couldn't hear the last bit that you said, but yeah, I can imagine. It's such an incredible song, really. It breaks your heart, but at the same time, it's almost like a Christmas song.
True.
The snow falling, the children playing, the lake.
Gentle rain beating on my face. I think that's
exactly gentle rain beating on my face.
How can gentle rain beat on your face? But I get what you're saying. Yeah,
it's
beautiful.
It's just incredible, because it's a guy that is going, and basically he's saying goodbye to everything that is known in his life, including his childhood, because it's a song about childhood. Children playing.
Yeah. And I know
the dream of the child is the hope of the man.
Yeah. What do you think of the allegations that Freddie had a daughter?
I don't know about that. I don't know. I think I've heard that before.
Yeah. So I think an author a book has just been published, and apparently they have a girl in Germany who's 46 years old, and or is it 48 years old, and so she's claiming that Freddie was her dad, and he was involved in her life. But sure, Mary Austin came out and said, if anyone should have known that he had a daughter, I would have known by now.
I would have known.
Yeah, and so I mean, I don't think there's any credibility.
Yeah, because I mean, she was his closest friend. Yeah. No, I don't know. I mean, I guess it could be. I don't know if it could be proved.
That's the thing.
That she's his daughter. I don't know about that. I don't know. Is she supposed to be the daughter of that German actress that he was involved with, Barbara Valentin?
It makes sense. The person that the person claims is the mother is German, but look again. A lot of these things happen. My point is that why didn't this person come to Freddie when, or even announce it when Freddie was alive? Because I'm sure that would have brought him a lot of joy, as Mary Austin says. But the person claims that Freddie was in their life, but none of the band or even Mary herself hasn't any proof that Freddie was in this person's life. But look, it probably come out at some point if it is true. If there's DNA evidence, it might come out. But just while the mention of children in the Winter's Tale was coming up, I just asked what your thoughts were.
Yeah. Well, I think he was obviously he was gay, but I think I don't know what you think, but I think he probably I mean, he wasn't entirely happy with being gay.
Yeah, I think in the early days, I think he said he was bisexual. Obviously, with
I think
Mary,
he was
that would make sense. Yeah,
because he wanted to be a dad.
yeah,
Exactly, and I think he had that vocation. He wanted to be a dad, I think.
Yeah.
And of course, now you can have children if you're gay, but back then that wasn't the case.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think that must have hurt him a lot.
Yeah.
Through his life,
Yeah.
It's an interesting character because of course he never came out of the closet.
No. No. Even though people did comment during the years, but it's amazing how the world has evolved in 40 years. How
Yes.
different, how things have changed. But I mean, I can't even believe that the 80s is 40 years ago.
Yes.
Do you is there any era of Queen's music that you would gravitate towards more? 70s, 80s, 90s?
I think the 80s, through the 80s they became a little bit more of a singles group, a little bit more. I mean, I love all the albums really, but if you take the Works or Hot Space or even A Kind of Magic, there's a few songs that stand out.
Yeah. So for me, on
that were the singles, and the rest are not so good,
But my favorite would be Radio Gaga, for example.
Yeah, exactly, and that was a huge hit, and it's a fantastic song and everything. But then the rest of the songs, I mean, there's very few songs in the album. I never understood why "I Go Crazy" wasn't included in the album and was only a B-side. Because I think that's a really funny song and fantastic. It's a good rocker. But I think whereas in the 80s they became more of a singles band, that's not the case for the 70s.
Yeah.
Basically everything they released, the whole work of albums to the 70s. I mean, the albums are packed with amazing songs.
Yeah. They knew how to put together an album, and they knew how to use the palate cleanser, for example, by putting in Lazy on a Sunday afternoon after a heavy song to kind of ease things down after a very heavy song, that sort of thing. So they were very good at putting together albums, very good, especially in the 70s. Yeah,
exactly.
For me.
Yeah, and I was going to say, and the 90s is just 1990 and 1991, but that is incredible, and everything they did from the moment Freddie announced that he was sick to the rest, which we don't know exactly when that was. That must have been sometime in 1987 or something like that.
That's my understanding as well. 87,
something like that. Yeah. Everything that they did together from then point on is absolutely incredible. The Miracle, Innuendo, with of course The Show Must Go On, and Innuendo, the track, and then the songs that were included in Made in Heaven. That's as good as the material in the 70s, and it also has the and that material also you have to add the fact that he was very sick.
Yes,
doesn't in itself make the music better, but you know what he was going through, and that makes you love the songs even more. Because you know what they mean.
Yeah,
and I mean a song like Days of Our Lives. These are the days of our lives. That's what I was saying earlier, because that's a song by Roger, and Freddie seemed to be beyond that, but Roger was reflecting on the end of the end of life, basically, and it's a very reflective song with a really sad mood, I would say, but at the same time it's hopeful. The album Innuendo is also among my favorites. I think it's an incredible piece.
There's so much to it. There's so much involved. Even Innuendo itself is like a mini Bohemian Rhapsody. There's so many bits to it.
Yes, exactly.
I like the sections. I like the way you have like the introduction section, then you have the soft guitar section, then you've got the fast guitar section, and because there's bits to it, and I like epics like that where you have different themes within a song.
Yeah, exactly, and particularly the last segment, which is I guess it's got like a round structure, because the beginning of the song is similar to the end, the end of the ending, and everything that the song. It's a little bit Led Zeppelin-esque, I guess. No,
right.
And in fact, Robert Plant sang in the Freddie Mercury tribute concert, sang bits of Innuendo.
Yeah.
He wasn't particularly good at that, I think. But anyway.
Well, I think I'm very happy with the fact that the people who sang at the tribute concert made the time to do so. because at the time AIDS wasn't under control, it was misunderstood. And you have, for example, Axl Rose and Elton John. And at the time, Axl would have said things that would have been homophobic, that sort of thing. And yet on the show, he was holding hands with Elton John and giving a very strong sign that this is the way things are. And we will, support this and support the music of Freddie and Queen and the actual aim of the Mercury Phoenix Trust and other related things. So there was positive signs there, But yes, I mean, I do think that Days of Our Lives for me is one of the other ones that I would put in there with things like Winter's Tale and that sort of thing. Very, very emotional songs. Really, just again, two of my favorite songs you just mentioned there.
Yeah.
So
I think Innuendo is some of my favorite albums. I would say that Innuendo, Queen 2, of course, and at the Opera. And A Day at the Races. I think to me, A Night at the Opera and A Day at the Races are like the same album.
Yeah,
I mean,
they're like bookends. They should be maybe combined as a double album. Yeah,
they're like bookends, and I think A Day at the Races has some wonderful songs as well, and it's kind of mellow in a way. It's not a very rocky album, except for Tie Your Mother Down. I think the rest of the songs, most of them are kind of ballads or very
piano based,
very melodic and very. The Millionaire Waltz is an incredible song. I know Brian is very fond of that one as well. And Teo Toriate, of course, that is
beautiful. I remember hearing that in 1993. I was in college at the time, and I went to the library just to get out a Japanese phrase book to try and see if I could decipher what the words were meaning. And
and it's such a beautiful song in Japanese, as you said, or partly in Japanese. They have a song in Spanish as well, or partly in Spanish. Las Palabras de Amor, of course.
Yes, excellent.
I'm fond of the song, even I don't think it's among their greatest, but of course, for obvious reasons, it's in my language, partly in my language, and I like it a lot. And I mean, they are so international. They are so beloved everywhere in the world. Everywhere you go, I think particularly in Japan, people are crazy about Queen.
They were huge. I mean, Queen toured there in the early 70s, and even before they had a huge hit, they were touring Japan, and they were getting Beatlemania style fans at the airport. There's a great shot. I think it was on the Magic Years, that documentary. There's a shot of a 747 coming in, and they're actually playing Teo Toriate as it's coming in, and it's haunting to see this huge Queen of the Skies coming in, and you hear the Teo Toriate starting, and then you see all the fans. That's my time machine moment. I'd love to go back to the 70s and see Queen as they were beginning to get famous.
Well, that also makes sense. That also makes sense. Can I change my mind and go to your?
Let's do both. No. We have a time machine. We can go anywhere.
Oh, we can go anywhere. Then let's go everywhere. Everywhere. No, I mean, they were so incredible. They still are. When you listen to Brian playing or Roger playing, and I'd like that something. Would you like that something happen with John? Like they get together to play one final gig or something like that. That would be nice.
It would be nice for John to receive the love that the fans want to give him.
Yeah, exactly.
He's been very isolated, and I think he has been very militant with his views as regards what Brian and Roger are trying to do. And he's still involved. I mean, as a business partner, he's still wholly involved with Queen. And with the show We Will Rock You and the film and all the royalties and so on. I just think there's so much love for John out there, and the fans would love to see him. And I would say there's a huge demand if he just would want to do something, because he's a great musician as well, And nobody has said anything about John. There's no one saying, "Oh, John's this or John's that." He has made a decision. That's okay. Everyone has the choice to make a decision in life as regards to what they want to do. It's just that the fans I'm sure would love to see John at some point, either playing again with the Queen band, or simply just coming to something, maybe an event that Queen are at.
Exactly. I was going to say that. No,
Yeah.
I mean, a concert would be fantastic, but just an appearance.
Yeah. I've seen people put online
Appearance
things like,
in I don't know, in an award or
yeah.
I think that would be incredible.
Yeah, I do think so. And I mean, I've seen comments online about people saying that they're worried for John because he's isolated in some respects.
Yeah.
I know he's his family and all those sort of things, and that maybe that's what's doing. Some people just want, when you finish your life in the work era and you're retiring, a lot of people just go into the family and have that as their little bubble, and that's what their life is after retirement. Some people love that, and maybe John is having the best time with his family, and that's okay, which is great, and we only want the best for him. But
absolutely, and it's I find it fascinating. I mean, the relationship between John and Freddie. Apparently, they were really close.
They were very tight, very tight. They wrote a lot of songs together as well.
And they wrote a lot of songs together.
Yeah.
And it's funny because they seem to be. I mean, obviously we have never met them, but they seem to be very different to each other. Yeah. So the way those very different personalities blended is interesting.
Yeah,
isn't it?
It's very interesting, and I think that's what makes music interesting. How you combine 4 different people and how they will interact with each other as songwriters and even musicians.
Yeah, absolutely. How great they are.
Yeah. So if you could ask the band one question, what would it be? If you had Brian or Roger or John or even Freddie in front of you, like, is there any question you'd love to say? Well, I've always wanted to ask this question.
Well, that is a good question. I can't come up with, I mean, maybe it would be something like a very silly detail about one piece of lyrics or something like that, that I sometimes think about. But I can't. Let me think about it. Let me think about it, and I'll tell you. Any those, I can't think of one
That's
question
okay.
now, but it'll be something regarding lyrics.
I think sure. I would be the same.
Or something.
I think I'd be asking Freddie, like, is there really a meaning to Bohemian Rhapsody? And does it even make a difference that we know, or
yes,
not?
Yes. Yeah. I don't think there really is a meaning. Yeah. But the fascinating thing is that even though probably there is no real meaning to it, and it's just a lot of nonsense, even though there's books written about it, trying to decipher the meaning of the lyrics and all that, and I think that's fascinating. It's been the anniversary, 50 years.
Yeah, that's right. Just on Friday or Saturday, just gone, the 31st of October, 1975, it released.
Yeah.
So Freddie brought a copy from the studio to his friend Kenny Everett, who had a radio show, and Kenny would put on a little bit of it and then he'd stop it. And he said, no one wants to hear that. And they go, and eventually people were ringing in, play the song. So he played it 14 times or something like that over the weekend. But I do remember hearing a story that Freddie also brought the Prophets song and gave that to Kenny Everett. And Brian May woke up one morning and heard his neighbour playing the Prophets song on the radio. And it wasn't even finished. It wasn't half finished. And he was kind of going, what's going on? Is this a dream?
I heard that as well.
Yeah.
The Prophets song, it's another masterpiece.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's surreal.
A little bit overshadowed by Bohemian Rhapsody, I think. But I mean, the whole mid-section with the choir, I mean, with the overlaid words and that is absolutely incredible. It's absolutely incredible. And also the lyrics. I think Brian is the best lyricist in Queen.
Yeah, I love Brian's songs. But Brian's songs have a very deep meaning. Save Me. What's the other one?
Well, I mean, a song that is very interesting. It seems to be very personal, and maybe that would be one of my questions. By Brian, even sung by Brian, is "Sail Away, Sweet Sister."
That's the one I actually had it in my head. I wanted to leave you to talk, and that was the one it came back to me. And I, as you were talking, I said, he has no sister. So who's
exactly. So my question would be, how personal is that song?
Yeah.
I mean, is that something that you were really? There's even a hint of cross-dressing there, because it's something you're all dressed up like a lady, so it makes it.
Right.
I think it suggests.
Yeah.
I think it suggests that in his childhood, at some point, Brian very badly wanted to have a sister, so he would dress up as
Right. Well, I'm not sure what
as
the
a girl.
school was like.
I don't know if that's true,
Brian.
but
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like there's something like that.
Yeah.
In the song, it's a little bit dark. I don't know. So I would ask him if there's some personal truth in that.
That's interesting.
Because
yeah.
It is dedicated to the sister I never had. So if you put that in the song or below the title, to the sister I never had, that means that is really something very personal to you.
Yeah. That's very interesting. I never copped that.
That is the one. That is the one.
That's very good. Excellent. Well, we're just nearly at the end of the conversation. Is there anything else you would like to question or add or come up with, or?
No, I don't know. I don't know what else to say. I mean, it's just there's so many things we could talk about.
Have you enjoyed your time?
And about how very much.
Good.
Absolutely, I really enjoyed it.
And me too. I really enjoyed talking to them and meeting you as well. You're an inspiration because for us here in Ireland and England, English is our first language. So for you, as a non-native English speaker, and you have such joy and love for everything Queen, it's brilliant to see how worldwide the music of Queen and their influence has gone. So
sure.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. I have an anecdote.
Yes.
If that's okay, before we finish. Because I met Brian once.
Wow, look at you.
Very briefly.
Now I'm envious.
Yeah, but I mean, but it was 1 minute. It was 1 minute. But what happened was the following. I had just published my first book by then, and he was signing albums. When the "We Will Rock You" version came to Spain, he was there like in
Yes.
some kind of event regarding the premiere or something like that. So he was signing records, and I made the queue. I approached him, and while I got there, I gave him my record so that he could sign it. But I also gave him my book that I had just published, because just for the sake of Brian having my book.
Yes.
I just wanted that to happen. Of course, written in Spanish, the book, and he can speak some Spanish. So I gave him the book, and I said, "Well, I know you're fluent in Spanish, so you can." And he went, "Well, I wish," or something like that. And then I gave him the album so that he could sign it, and he said, "Yeah, okay, I will sign the album, but you will sign the book."
Oh, that's brilliant! I love Brian. Brian is he comes across as such a kind person, and that's amazing. Well done, you. That's excellent. I do remember.
So that's my anecdote. I think that's a nice story too.
That's a lovely story.
Conversation.
That's really lovely. Thank you very much for sharing that with us.
Thank you, Shane. It was a pleasure.
Thank you very much. So before I end, I always do the questions that were made famous by James Lipton at the Actors Studio. Yeah. It's basically 11 questions. So the first one is, what's your favorite word?
In my language.
Doesn't matter. Whatever you want.
Well, it's I guess in my language is libellula.
What's that mean?
Just because it sounds good, but I don't know the translation into English. Sorry, it's an insect. I know it's an insect, but I will let you. Libellula.
Libellula.
Yes.
What's your least favorite word?
I don't know. I guess I love most. I mean, I don't have a word that I particularly dislike.
Okay, what turns you on? What makes you excited? What makes you happy?
Queen music.
Oh, excellent. What turns you off?
Reggaeton music.
Very good.
That turns me off completely.
Yeah.
Yes.
What sound or noise do you love?
My kids' laughter.
That's beautiful. Yes, nice. What sound or noise do you hate?
I don't know. I guess noisy neighbors.
Yeah.
In general.
That would do it. That would do it. Yeah. Next one is interesting. What's your favorite curse word?
I would have to go for Spanish again.
Good. And what?
Okay, so I will say coño, and but I won't translate it. Coño. That's it.
Coño. Okay. I've learned something new.
Yes.
What profession other than your own would you attempt?
I would love to have been a singer.
Nice. Yeah. The interest in music. Very good. And what profession would you not like to do?
I guess I don't know. There's so many that I would like to do. I can't come up with one now.
That's okay.
Sorry.
If you were stranded on a desert island, which Queen album would you take? I added that one myself, by the way. That's an extra question.
Difficult to pick just one, but probably Night at the Opera.
Nice.
Probably.
Yeah. And finally, if heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
I would. My first instinct was to say A Winter's Tale. And yeah, I'm going for that. A Winter's Tale. That would be amazing. And of course, God would have Freddie's voice.
Excellent. Perfect. Well, Jesus Bengoechea, muchas gracias for coming on.
Gracias a ti, Shane.
And it's been a pleasure having you, and a real inspiration chatting with you. And I really enjoyed my time, and hope you enjoyed the time as well. And so, thank you very much for coming on. And
I really enjoyed it, and I hope you invite me again one day.
Well, look, there's more things I have in line. I'm thinking of doing watch-alongs. For example, we might watch the Queen live at Milton Keynes and have a little director's commentary of our own.
Whatever you want to do, if you want to count with me, that'll be a pleasure. Seriously.
Yeah. The other thing is, maybe if I'm in Spain sometime, we might even catch up, have a drink.
That'll be great. Where do you live in Ireland?
It's a place called Waterford in the southeast of Ireland. We make crystal. That's the most famous product that we make here.
Fantastic! I love Ireland. I was in Dublin quite recently.
So just draw a straight line down from Dublin. We're pretty much in the bottom corner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right, Shane. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for your time, and we'll hopefully chat again at some point. Thank you very much.
Take care, Shane. Bye.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
So thank you very much for tuning in to the Queen Fan Podcast here on Shane's Queen site, Killer Queen Conversations. We hope to see you again very soon. And we would like to thank our guests this week for joining us. Join us again next week for more great conversations about Queen, their music, and what it means to be a Queen fan. See you again very soon. My name is Shane MacDonald, and I hope you have a great day.